Okay, welcome back to Classic Picks of 80 Sticks. Today we have the Dunlop Black Max. I just received the racket about a couple hours before I recorded this hit, and when I opened the box, I was really initially struck by how beautiful the racket is. I was lucky it was in pristine condition. Barely a scratch on it for a 40-year-old racket. The Dunlop Black Max came out around 1980. I looked up online when it was produced. I saw some different posts regarding different dates. It could have come out as early as 1978. There's an ad that shows it came out in 1980. The racket has a nice matte black finish, nice red trim around the head. The head shape is pretty classic oval. It's 85 square inches and a 16 by 19 string pattern. The video right here shows the first few minutes of the hit, and hitting with it was really nice. First impression was it had nice plow through due to its weight. And to be honest, I asked others who used this racket back in the day, and they recall it being really heavy and very flexible. It is heavier than a modern racket, but it isn't that overboard in terms of, I think I weighted at around 260 grams. I have some graphite edges that are definitely heavier than this, and it didn't feel too flexy. My graphite edges are definitely more flexible than this. This may sound way off base, but it really felt close to a Wilson Pro Staff 6.0. Ground strokes felt really solid, especially my backhand. I received the racket with strings. I assume it's the original strings from the manufacturer. It looks like something like a Leona 66. The stencil was still on it. I'm not the biggest fan of Leona 66, but it definitely had a soft feeling. Not especially a good soft feeling, but nonetheless it had a classic like 80s nylon kind of feel to it. I would guesstimate it's strung at around 50, somewhere around there. Probably lost a bunch of tension from sitting in storage for all these years. Spin seemed to be decent, nothing outstanding. Power was also decent. I would say a little underpowered, which I actually like. I feel more confident with hitting out, knowing the ball will have a better chance of staying in. I believe this is probably one of the earliest mass-produced and popular mid-size graphite rackets that came out in the 80s. Some of its contemporaries include Graphite Edge, a little bit later the Wilson Pro Staff 6.0. This is the predecessor to the Dunlop Max 200G that was made famous when McEnroe switched to it from wood, and then also Steffi Graf used the Max 200G. I'll be doing a review of that one too in another video, so keep an eye out for that one. Some pros and cons. First, the cons. It is pretty heavy by modern day standards. Another con is it's not very powerful. And a third con is, I didn't mention this before, the racket handle is very square. I know there is the Wilson handles that are squarish compared to the head handles, but this one was a little uncomfortable. Pros: it feels nice. I actually like the feel when it hits a sweet spot. It has nice plow through. It's well constructed. It feels like a tank. You could probably run over it with a truck and it wouldn't phase it. Volleys felt really nice with this racket. Really crisp and solid because of its weight. It wasn't all too sluggish, also kind of surprising. Actually kind of nimble. I felt very confident with Volleys with this. I felt that I could control the direction and the depth pretty well with it. I need to mention this. I mentioned this issue with different rackets I reviewed. The grommets seem really nice in terms of the condition it came in, and I looked at other used Black Maxes and they seem to have survived the test of time. So these were not in the disintegration mode. What this means is that I could possibly use this racket and not worry about getting new grommets for a long period of time. Another pro is that there are a ton of these rackets. This was a very popular racket back in the day, and so there's a lot of them around in people's garages and basements and closets, whatever. And as I mentioned, this thing's like a tank. There's a lot of them in pretty decent condition, and since there's a lot of them, the price is right. Go on to the big auction site and you could get one of these in pretty decent condition for 25 bucks. Okay, that's it for this review of the Black Max. Shout out to Mike P for hitting with me and putting up with the stuff. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. Also, if you hit with this racket, have any experience with it, or you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. Lastly, if you have any suggestions or any rackets that you would like to be reviewed on my channel, also comment. Be much appreciated. Thanks a lot, and see you next time.